Hey, what's up, guys? So I'm going to be doing a movie review today, and that is Mortal Kombat Annihilation. Came out in 1997, and this film is really, really bad. It's such a disappointing film. As a fan of the original film, which I I think it's really good, and it's like a classic, in my opinion. Definitely a film that I've always liked. And you know what was cool about that film is it ended on a cliffhanger, and the emperor, the ruler of Outworld, he appears to Raiden, Johnny Cage, Sonya, and Liu Kang, and Shao Kahn says to them, "You weak, pathetic fools, I've come for your souls." And Raiden's like, "I don't think so." And that was a pretty cool ending. I mean, it was a cliffhanger, but it was a setup for a sequel. And it made you excited about the sequel because you knew they were going to make another film. But 2 years later, after the first film, we get this film, which the way it starts off is just the way the first film ends. These characters go into Outworld, and the first 5 minutes, Shao Kahn kills Johnny Cage and breaks his neck. And already you're pissed off at the film. And it's like, wow, you kill off this character right away, and all the stuff that happened in the first film was for nothing because his character dies in the first 5 minutes. And he was a pretty cool character. He's funny, and he's a fun character. So already you're already mad at the film. And not only that, but the only actors that return from the first film is the guy who played Liu Kang and the girl who plays Katana. Those are the only returning cast members. Everyone else is different. The guy who played Raiden, Christopher Lambert, he doesn't return in this film, which I can see why, because Raiden has a lot more to do in this film. There's more physical work, with martial arts, which I do like that Raiden has more to do in this film, because in the original film, he didn't really do anything. He just mentored, everybody and guide them, in the right direction. So I could probably see why Christopher Lambert didn't want anything to do with this. He didn't like the script, but also there's a lot of physical work as well. He didn't want to do it. I can understand why. But it hurts the film that it's a different cast for the most part. And also because of the tone. It's a different tone than the first film. The first film had humor mixed with the action and martial arts. This is more serious. But not only is it more serious, it's just the performances from the actors. The newer actors are playing, Sonya Blade and Johnny Cage and Raiden. They're just wooden, and they're just not into it, Whoever wrote the script didn't seem to pay attention to certain things that worked in the first film, like the humor, like the charisma with the actors. They didn't pick the right actors because none of these actors have charisma with each other at all. And it's almost like their personalities are different as well. They're all serious and stiff with their performances. And even Liu Kang, his performance is different. He's just more serious. He's not kind of like, joking around. And, you need that. You need that because that's what worked in the first film. And the girl who plays Sonya Blade in this one, she's okay. But she's no Bridget Wilson from the first film. who played Sonya Blade. Because those actors in that film, in the original film, they were doing improv, they were trying to make the film work, and they were just, having fun. In this film, you could tell they weren't having fun. It seemed like they were just there to, get a paycheck. That's what it felt like. So with that, and the guy who plays Shao Kahn, this guy is not the same actor from the first film, because that guy was threatening at the very end of the picture. And he's talking like this: "You weak, pathetic fools." He seemed pretty intimidating. But this guy, which is a different actor, obviously, is not threatening at all. And this is your main villain. This guy doesn't wear his skull mask like he normally does, like in the video games. He always wears that mask. He's threatening. But here, he barely wears the damn mask. And he doesn't have the mask on. He's just a bald-headed guy who's hamming it up with his acting. World dominance. I will be supreme leader. It's like fucking shit, man. Really? This is a guy that's supposed to be the ruler of Outworld. This emperor. This is your threat? Are you fucking kidding me? This guy's a joke. To mop the floor with the guy. I mean, he's a joke. He's overacting. Supreme leader, I will destroy you all. The tagline of the film is "Destroy all expectations." They weren't kidding. So that's what hurts the film, is the different actors they choose, the different tone, the overacting, hamming it up with the performances. Even the woman who plays Katana's mother is hamming it up with the acting. And even the CGI is bad. People complained about the CGI in the first film. I thought they made good use of the CGI in the first film. The CGI is pretty bad, especially towards the third act. When Liu Kang turns into his spirit animal, which is like, I don't know, what, a dragon? They turn him and Shao Kahn turn into these like dragon-like creatures, and they fight each other. And the CGI is terrible. Bad. And it goes on for too long. It's horrible. And just the story isn't very good. The action's fine. The new characters they introduce is fine. I like some of the new villains and some of the new characters. I mean, Jax is okay, but he's just, the lines they give him are just not funny. He's not a funny character. Whatever attempt of humor they try to have in this isn't funny. It doesn't work. And the character development, at least the first film, had some kind of character development. You got to learn about these characters, their fears. They had all individually had fears. Liu Kang had guilt because of his brother getting killed. He felt like he was to blame for his brother's death. Sonya Blade, she didn't trust people. And Johnny Cage, he felt like, he was a fraud. He wanted to prove himself. Everybody kept telling him he was a fraud. He wanted to prove himself, that he wasn't a fake. So they all had their individual fears, and they had to conquer the fears. And at least they had some kind of development. On this, they try to expand that a little bit, but it just feels watered down and weak, and They have no direction to go with these characters. And the only thing that's some kind of character development is with Raiden, where we find out that Shao Kahn is related to Raiden. Shao Kahn is Raiden's brother. And we find out the only way that Raiden can fight in the outworld is to give up his immortality. And he ultimately gets killed, and they resurrect him later on in the film, which, why couldn't they have done that with Johnny Cage? They resurrect Raiden, but they can't resurrect Johnny Cage. I was hoping they at least would redeem themselves a little bit by bringing back that character at some point in the film, but they don't do that. And none of these characters seem like they cared that Johnny Cage got killed. Sonya showed some kind of emotion, but the rest of them just like, let's go and fight. It just didn't faze them, you know. They didn't seem like they cared that their friend just got killed by Shao Kahn. You know, he died. Oh no, the performances are weak. They show no emotion. The storyline's not very good. I do like the way the visual style looks, and I appreciate the fact that they at least are attempting to make it, you know, close to the first film, you know, as far as the way it looks. And there are attempts, but the film feels rushed, and it feels like they just, you know, they want to make money, basically. The studio behind it, you know, they weren't trying to make a good film. They were just trying to make a rush film to make money. So that's why this film belongs in my bad movie series, because it's just not a good film. It's a hack job. It's not a good film compared to the original. It only has some kind of cool ideas as far as, like, you know, I like that Raiden has more to do as far as, you know, fighting. I like some of the characters they introduce, and the action's okay, and the visual style with the cinematography and, you know, set pieces and production, and the way the outworld looks. I mean, I like the fantasy elements and supernatural stuff going on, but it just doesn't work because all the actors are overacting, or the lines are stupid, and it's just so dumb. It's like, once they defeat Shao Kahn, then they go back home on Earth, and they all give each other a high five, and that's the end of the film. It's like, fucking Jesus. Wow. No wonder why they didn't make a part 3 after this film. Oh, Jesus Christ. This film is so bad. That CGI at the end, Jesus, that was bad. What they called it, the Animality? Is that what it was called? Where Liu Kang can, like, transform into, like, a dragon-like creature or something. The spirit animal. And fight Shao Kahn's animality. This is so stupid. I know it's based off the game, and I believe they did that in the game, but just the CGI did not work in this film at all. It looked terrible. Although they did improve a couple of little things with Scorpion. His thing that came out of his hand, the dragon-like snake chain thing, that looked like they improved that special effect. So that there's a couple of little improvements in the film, but it's a bad film. It's terrible. I can watch it maybe as a time waster because I like the characters. But this is just a piss poor, watered down sequel to the original film, which to me is a great film. So, anyways, this is my review rant of Mortal Kombat Annihilation. Hope you guys enjoy this review, and I hope you guys have a good day. Take it easy.